An Orlando community is standing together this weekend after a church service was interrupted by protesters last week. Today, a group dedicated to standing up against discrimination stood outside that place of worship. News 6's Emily McLeod shows us how the group is getting results.
Services looked a little different at Joy Metropolitan Community Church Sunday morning, but not because of what was happening inside. Just out front, a group called the Central Florida Pledge came together to make sure this congregation had a safe place to worship after a group of people went into the church last week, causing an incident Reverend Terry Steed Pierce calls unnerving, and says the people began, quote, spewing hate after a children's song.
It's not godly. Like I said the other day, it's just not of God when you want to interrupt and disrupt. You know, we can disagree, but you don't do that in the midst of someone worshiping God.
And while services continued inside, outside, people stood ready to protect the congregation, including the chairman of the Central Florida Pledge, Dr. Joel Hunter.
When you heard this happen, what was your reaction?
Well, it's a gut punch because you just hate to see anybody interrupted in their worship. It's against the law, but it's also just rude and persecutory, and so I felt really bad for the congregation. The pastor here is a friend of mine. We have different beliefs, but we're very close friends, and so I was just glad that we could do something about it.
Linda Simmons was there Sunday morning and says it was an easy decision to show up.
It's a powerful church, and that Pastor Reverend Terry is wonderful, and Reverend Stanley, and all of the people are all wonderful, and they deserve just to have the arms of the community wrap around them, keep them safe.
For Reverend Steed Pierce, she says she hopes their message shines through all of this.
I just hope that our stance and our saying love is going to win in us and through us regardless of what you do, that is the overarching message that will come from this, because God will always take what others mean for evil and work it for good, and I stand firmly on that promise and trust that God will take this and work it for good.
In Orlando, Emily McLeod, Getting Results, News 6.